totally extraordinary night of briefings from the heart of government overnight and late last night. And it's clear to me, Nick, that those around Keir Starmer, at least some of them, do fear that his job might be under threat and potentially within weeks. There has been this speculation in Westminster about what might happen if this budget goes badly. We know it's going to be very painful. And also what might happen if Labour does really badly at next year's local election. So two possible flashpoints for the Prime Minister. We know that he's an unpopular Prime Minister. He's not doing very well in the polls. So the question is, would anyone try and challenge him for the top job? Now, it's going to be hard to do. It's not like the Conservative Party. You don't just write letters in private. You have to publicly say, I would like to challenge somebody else and I am going to back them. So
and then what's the percentage of
so it's 20% of the Parliamentary Labour Party. So around sort of 80 or so MPs would have to come out and put their name to a challenger. Right. So that is a hugely high bar. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. But last night, truly extraordinary moves from within Number 10 Downing Street. Allies of the Prime Minister warning it would be unwise, it will cause political instability in the market. That's something that our own Aggie Chambray has been reporting for weeks now, and saying that he will fight any such challenge. So bringing what has been these private chats into the public, giving them oxygen, and crucially, Nick, pointing the finger at some of his own cabinet colleagues as potentially plotting to remove him. Lots of names floating around Westminster, including, of course, Wes Streeting. He is the man who is at the heart of some of these briefings this morning. Last night, allies of Wes Streeting forced to deny the Health Secretary's team telling us it's categorically untrue that he is working to launch a leadership challenge to Keir Starmer. They say he's getting on with that job to fix the NHS that saved his life. He told you earlier today this briefing is the biggest attack on a faithful since the Traitors finale.
Not if this is how people behave in your own house. I'm not sure, Nick. I mean, here I am coming to you from the LBC safe house in the basement of Millbank, which is just across the road from Parliament.
We'd call it the Witness Protection Programme. Don't worry, the money clears and no one knows you're there, Mr. Streeting.
I mean, I'm laughing because I just think this is ridiculous. And no, the Prime Minister is not fighting for his job this morning. In fact, the last time I saw the Prime Minister on Monday evening with a small group of cabinet colleagues was to talk about how we're going to fight the scourge of violence against women and girls. So I think this is daft, to be honest. In fact, I think someone in Downing Street has been watching too much Celebrity Traitors, and this is just about the most appalling attack on a faithful I've seen since Joe Marler was banished in the final, to be honest.
Can you assure me, read my lips, you need to say, I am not Alan Carr.
You're right. I tell you what, I nearly dropped the F-bomb live on air first thing in the morning.
Just for read my lips. I Wes Streeting. I am not Alan Carr.
Yeah, this is why I don't wear rectangular glasses. And if you think I'm giving you that clip for social media, you've got another thing coming.
And Nick, you talked to him about the NHS England restructure, but you did try one final time to get him to rule out being a traitor himself.
What you could do today, of course, to show that you are a faithful, is to have your hair cut in the style of Joe Marler. Would you consider that, Secretary of State? Then everyone in Whitehall could see that you are a faithful to Sir Keir. You floated the idea you are the Joe Marler of politics when I suggested you're Alan Carr.
I'm never going to forgive you for this, by the way. I'm very happy with my hairline as it is, thank you very much. I'm not planning to go for a skinhead anytime soon.
So what do we rule into that,
What happens
Nick?
next?
Well, what happens next? Look, I think this is the question I think is this morning, has this strengthened Keir Starmer's hand? Has it basically been an attempt to shore up his position ahead of the budget, which is clearly what some people in Downing Street want? However, I think it's fair to say this has caused such huge ripples in Westminster overnight. People I've spoken to this morning, one says this all looks deeply odd ahead of the budget. One says it's no secret that Wes has been on manoeuvres since he dreamed of being Tony Blair as a teenager. This isn't new. Another person says these briefings were not sanctioned. They were stupid and unhinged. One minister says they are trying and failing to stop the noise ahead of the budget. Another tells me, just sends me a head exploding emoji. One also sent me a facepalm emoji. So is this basically, today, Nick, is this going to turn into a fight, essentially a public fight? You heard the fury, I think, in Wes Streeting's voice this morning when he was speaking to you. He's very upset that the finger is being pointed at him. Can he bring that back together and repair that? Will we see a moment today at Prime Minister's Questions where people get behind the Prime Minister, as they did at the Labour Party conference when Andy Burnham potentially tried to be on manoeuvres? Or does this start to disintegrate and turn into a wider civil war within the Labour Party? And I think, actually, Nick, speaking to people earlier today, it could be the latter.
LBC's political editor Natasha Clark reporting.